Pies, and welcome to Fem Tell. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Do I have Miss Ruth
I'm
Devereaux? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. And now
Yes.
that it's been
Welcome.
the most chaotic start to any Slice of Life episode, I'm your host, Maddie. I am joined by Miss Ruth Devereaux,
Yay.
who's my co-host of Fem Tell All. And I convinced her to come on the solo
Convinced?
pod. I know.
I ran here.
I know. I made it sound like I was such a hard
Right?
battle to make you.
Like, I'm coming. What are you cooking for me?
Yeah, you willingly agreed to come on the solo pod, and I
Yes.
appreciate it.
No, I'm so happy
much.
to be here.
And at the end, we can kind of talk about Fem Tell All too, and just
Yeah.
kind of say that what we're doing with
Yeah.
it. But for right now, we have Miss Ruth Devereaux on My Slice of Life, and I baked her something.
I'm so excited.
You asked for, if I remember correctly, you gave me a couple of options.
No, I
you
did
didn't.
not. I said one thing and one thing only. Lemon bars.
I literally was like, hey, do you have an idea?
Lemon bars.
Yeah, literally. And I was like, you can do
Lemon bars.
And I was like, all right, sick. So
we're
I
doing
guess
lemon
let's
bars.
get into it.
Mhm.
First bite of
Also,
a
I
lemon.
just want to talk about how I color coordinated with the set.
You really did. You got something so My Slice of Life coded. Good?
So good.
Really? Okay.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know how you do this.
Dude, honestly, sometimes the recipes just speak for themselves. Like, this is a good recipe. This is a really good recipe. Wow, this is so good.
It's really good.
Wow. I'll have to put her down because if I don't, I'll eat the entirety of it right now. So, yeah, take as many bites. I know you've listened to this pod before. Obviously, you're a co-host of the other pod.
I'm a fan.
You know podding quite well. But
I love the verb.
it's a new term that I just coined. The general rule of thumb for this podcast is if you need to take a bite at any point, please do so. I highly encourage.
I will.
But I'm going to start getting into it with you.
Let's
because,
go.
First of all, I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Because I miss you.
I miss you.
And also because honestly, we have a good thing going when
We
it comes to us putting
We're good energy.
a podcast
We
mic.
belong on camera together.
We do. Hikey, we do.
Seriously.
As much as that you were trying to joke about that.
Not lying.
I'm 10 toes down. I agree
Humor
with that.
usually is hidden underneath a layer of truth.
Some truth with humor. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I'm so excited to have you on because you are such a positive person.
Aw.
You love life. You have such a zest for life with the
you.
theme of your lemon bars. And I just wanted to get into what makes life so sweet with you
Yeah.
and also catch up a little
Yeah. Let's do
on
it.
the cam. So first question is,
Yes.
with your current season of life,
Mhm.
what would you say is the genre of this season of life, whether that be media, film, TV, a video game, otherwise, what would you say is your current season of life? And then on top of that, the follow-up question is, what would the audience be screaming at you?
Okay. So, as you know,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm in love.
You are.
And
Deeply.
I love to
And
laugh.
engaged. Show the
and I'm
ring.
engaged.
Show the ring.
And I love to laugh, and I am surrounded by so many amazing people, and I love my job, and like I'm at the peak of my career right now. So I would say like my genre is like a rom-com, and I'm just like happy all the time.
And
But there's also this looming fear that I see, and it's called AI. And that's the twist ending of a horror story.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
it's terrifying.
It's scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you said it because there's so many people in my life currently that like truly love AI.
Yeah.
And I understand why. Because
But
it's
there's,
such
like-
a huge, it can be such a useful
It
tool.
totally can be. I actually saw a video today where AI, this woman that was paralyzed, they put like chips in her legs, and she taught AI like what her thoughts were of like when she was thinking of walking.
Yeah.
And they built this machine that even when she's not looking at or not attached to it, the chips like read her like movements. And now she's able to walk because of this. That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Like that technology is incredible. The technology that's going to take over the world and over every job and over everything. Like that's scary. I don't know what that looks like.
And I think particularly for us who are in such a creative only field, right?
Exactly.
I know you produce and that's a business side of it, but you are producing creative content
Absolutely,
only.
yeah.
So as an actor and a podcaster, it is a little hard sometimes when I see the Google podcast where they're like, you type anything in and a podcast will automatically, we can make one for you. And it's like
and it
hyper realistic.
Crazy real, yeah.
And I'm like, I can't hear that right now. And then the same for you where Google just came out with these new, what is it? Google Flow, exactly.
Yeah, and Flow and VO3.
Yeah, where you just put in scenarios and now it's so hyper realistic.
It's so crazy.
With like singing, talking, like, and it doesn't look like the AI we've been seeing for the last couple months where you can ask it to do something and something can be really beautiful or like exciting, and then sometimes it has like a fourth arm and you're like, oh, what's going on? Well, and then also
I've always been able to look at content and be like, oh, that's AI.
That's AI.
It's very clear. Like the mouth doesn't move right, or the shift. It doesn't feel realistic. It's getting
because it's like usually it's a little uncanny valley. Like it's a little just like it makes your skin
can feel. Yeah.
But this, I agree with you.
It's scary. Did you see that what's trending now is people are making recreations of Bible stories through AI, where it's like I saw one with Jonah and the whale, and it's like, oh, I guess God, like they're doing like vlogging of like characters from the Bible in these scenarios.
Jesus Christ. And I mean that. Derogatory. My God. Haven't they seen VeggieTales? Like, isn't VeggieTales enough? Like,
We're good.
I think we've done enough biblical, like, wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I need to look that up.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. It's a little terrifying. And when I say little, it's massively terrifying. And because your livelihood is directly it's not only because you love it too. You love media. You love film and TV. You love making it.
I mean, like my entire life, all I've ever wanted to do was tell stories to impact the world, to like be a part of like what you saw. Like when I first moved to LA and I what I imagined the entertainment industry to be, and like being a part of it. And then like now seeing where the industry is right now and how many people are struggling and how sad that is, and like what does that evolve to as we get deeper and deeper into this technology. Like I don't know,
it's a really unprecedented time you know right now. And I think Vero, who was just on the pod, we talked about it off camera a little, but it really applies to this. Is she had a meeting with an acting coach recently and was just kind of like talking to them and being like, and she in the last episode talked about her flailing. You know, she's like, it feels like I'm flailing. Like, what am I doing? Am I doing enough? And all this stuff. And pretty much the conversation went like, yeah, if you're doing anything, you're doing as much as you can right now because so many people are just ridiculously discouraged to do anything right now.
It's so true.
And they're moving home. People are moving. They're stopping acting. People that have acted for 35 years who were always like booking co-stars all the time. All the time. We're like consistently working. We're able to have their SAG benefits, you know, be unionized, all these things. And they're not making a living wage anymore. And now at like after 40 years dedicated to a career that you love and like is your dream, now it's so unpredictable of like how much work you can feasibly get.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
It is scary.
Yeah. And so I understand where you're so passionate. You've worked your ass off, dude. You work so hard. You work harder than anyone I know. Really.
That's not true.
It's like Tommy B and you.
Okay, if I can be in the same category as Tommy, I accept it.
You are, because that man works too much. And then now he's retired, so he's fine. But he did. And again, like, that's just the nature of the film industry too, is those kind of hours.
Yeah.
You just have like out of my friends, like I know other actors, I know obviously directors and things like that. But being the producer who's like first and last to leave.
Yeah.
Homegirl is putting in 16-hour days sometimes. Like you're doing crazy shifts.
Yeah.
And that's where it's even more upsetting because it's not a lack of work ethic.
Right.
It's not a lack of dreaming and possibility and like applying yourself to things that you really want to do.
Yeah.
It's the unknown of like, is this going to be a career in a couple of years?
I mean, I want to stay positive just because I feel like I have to believe humanity and creativity shall prevail. And so with that in mind, I will say that even like I've talked to Adam about this a lot because he's often the one giving me the information on AI, and I'm like, oh.
You're like, please, I didn't subscribe to this.
unsubscribe. And he's very positive about it, and he often talks about the benefits that the greater good for the masses, because not everybody is okay in life, and not everybody is happy in their day-to-day, and like so many people will be given a life that will be much better, where they will have more time, where they will have more access to things that will be less cost, because it's going to be
anything.
So many things.
Therapy, like like people use chat as therapy as their doctor. I think
and even just like the more we utilize certain things, like housing will become cheaper because they'll be able to create and make housing like with less people, and like it's just a lot of costs should come down, hopefully, with that. But like in conjunction, a lot of people will benefit from it on a bigger scale. Yeah. So I want to believe that that's true. Yeah. I also do believe that hopefully it drives people more towards community, and it brings more of like us back to that place like when we were in COVID, when so many people were just like, I just want to be around people and I want to connect with like-minded people. And I think that will be a positive. But again, like I think with any technology, it can be used for good or bad. And I just hope that as we move into this new world, that it's used more so for good. Yeah. It
was beautifully said.
Thank
you.
I
completely agree with you on like the camaraderie of it all. And I really sincerely hope that because there are so many people with such fruitful, creative minds, that it just ends up being like, I'm not going to be working with something that's AI. Like, if, like say a Christopher Nolan director, right? Yeah. David Fincher, like these big directors that go, I'm not using any of that on my set. Yeah. I want people that are creatives that want to collaborate. This is a team effort. Yeah. Let's do it.
Right. And then that's the thing. Like I tell people, does anybody want to see an AI athlete? No, you want to see a human being that's like using their bodies, that you're demystified by how they can do that and what they can do with their bodies. Like, I think if people would truly understand the art form of content creation, whether that's television, film, like podcast, music, whatever that is, like it takes so many people to make something great. So when you see something great, the stars aligned. Yeah. Because it had
you struck gold. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, so that's what makes that so special. And so it will be sad if that nostalgia and that magic goes away.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I don't think it will.
I don't think so either.
I hope it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The audience is yelling. It's not going anywhere.
I was going to say.
We're watching.
Thank you for pivoting us to the next question. So, what's the audience yelling at you?
Yeah.
You think they're going, keep your chin up, Ruth. It will all work out.
I think so. I think probably just keep going. I think that's been kind of the goal always. Like, you don't stop. Like, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be roadblocks, right? This might be a really big roadblock, but you just got to keep going. Like, there is no option to stop, because what happens if you stop?
Yeah. If you won't know until, like, the only possibility is doing it to the best of your ability and hopefully striking more gold, or doing it to the best of your ability and then meeting more walls, and then you pivot from there. Yeah. Inaction is not an option.
It's not an option.
Yeah. Not for you.
Not for you.
Yeah. And I love that for us.
Let's go.
And that's so sweet. I love that. That's such a beautifully said, like you said. And life is about nuance, right?
Yeah.
Like even the best things, like you said, because you're so in love with Neil, you want to have this life with him. You want to build this life together. You want to use your success to just continue on having such a fruitful life with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get why it can feel difficult that you're both in the rom-com era where you're going like, we're preparing for your wedding.
Yeah.
You're like, our baby and Juice are happy and healthy. You're two beautiful cats. And you're like, we want to live the best years of their lives with them, and like you're traveling a lot for your friends. You
Yeah.
have one of your best friends is getting married in a month, less than a month.
Less than a month. End of June.
And then your niece is getting married too.
I know.
Which just so many wonderful things, like you said, and like you said, your
It's definitely
career.
the year of weddings for me.
Yeah, it is.
That's why we're like, we'll get married next year.
Next year. You
We'll
heard it
wait
here,
our turn.
folks. Because so many people, because I'm so close with you, people come to me for the information. They're like, so when are Ruth and Neil getting married? I'm like, I don't know. No, I do know. I'm like, next year.
No, girl, you got to help me plan it.
Oh, I'm there with you every step of the way.
You're coming.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will be trying every flavor of wedding cake that you want.
Yes.
But
I need your taste buds.
Girl, I'm there for it all. But it's just so funny because I find it very charming that people come to me like, what's going on there? And I'm like, ooh, I don't know. So yeah, because of all of that, I understand why it's conflicting that you have the rom-com and the horror of sci-fi and AI. Okay, wonderful. Well, the follow-up question is, do you have any moments, mantras, material items of late that are bringing you joy or simple pleasure?
I mean, you know my kitties.
Your cats.
My little babies.
Baby and Juice.
My little love bugs.
Those little angels walking on earth.
Yes.
I love them.
Yeah, they're just amazing. Like, they just bring so much joy to me and Neil all the time. Like, even the only annoyance is, like, every morning they wake me up. And Daddy gets to sleep. Dad gets his beauty rest.
Yes. Over here.
And they walk over him and they just paw me in the face like, Mom. Yeah. And they have to get me up. But it's done in the sweetest way that I can't even get mad because baby's eyes in the morning get so big. She looks like Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
And she'll just take her paw and like, Mom, pop my nose.
Mom.
Yeah.
Boop, Mom. Yeah. Mom, boop. She's not up
Until
yet.
I get up. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. And I'm like, why don't they ever wake him up though?
You have to think you had years on him though. You've had them since their
infancy.
Infancy.
Think that it's only fair at this point.
You could pass the baton. You're like, go wake him up.
Yes, I'm like, no. But I
That's
joke.
so
But like,
sweet.
other than that, like they're just such a joy for both of us. We love them so much, and we spend most of our days that we do have any free time just like sitting and like watching movies, and they're always with us. Like,
they love cuddling.
I don't understand people that say they have cats that don't like want to. They aren't in the room.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, like in the house, they just follow us everywhere.
Yeah.
They don't want to be alone.
Yeah, they're Velcro cats.
Yes, they are.
But in a good way.
Yes,
Like I'm in the same boat as you. Like if I have a dog or a cat, any kind of animal, I want it attached to me. I'm like, you are my avatar. We are one. You lay on my lap while I eat. You know, like I'm like, and you're right. Some people have such a passive relationship with their
which
pets
sometimes, like I have to admit, like when I'm working, I'm like, it would be nice, but
yeah. But it is very sweet that they're so close with you.
Sweet, yeah.
And to your point, they're so close with Neil, and that was
close,
not like we've known each other for 6 years now, and I obviously knew you pre-Neil.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing that
this actually came up the other day because he was like, "Oh, well, like, what did you think of me when we went on our first date?" And I was like, "You saw the text message."
It's true. What did you text me?
Yes, I think he's the one.
You said I think he's the one. Literally the night of your first date.
Yeah.
I remember being like, oh, damn.
You're like, slow down, girl, slow down.
No, actually, I really didn't.
No?
No, because at that point, like, you guys had
conversations.
You were kind of like, you'd kind of been set up by your brother, you know, and so there was a part of it that, like, we already kind of had our guard down, whether we should have or not. Yeah. And I'm saying we as, like, a united front, because it was a united front.
Yeah.
And it's the same with my partner, and you were there for all of the nucleus of that. So, it's just interesting to think of in hindsight. But I really wasn't worried at all. Like, when you said that, I was like, I believe her. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So it's such a beautiful thing. And he's such a wonderful man.
He's so kind.
Like, we've been able to establish our friendship.
He's so friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
That we have like regular like unhoused people that we pass that like now we know by name because he talks to everybody.
That's so sweet.
We were walking home from the gym the other day and one of the like a new guy we hadn't met before, we walked by and he goes, "Man, your smile could light up a room."
And he was like, He is Mr. Congeniality.
He is totally,
really
yeah.
Is. And
he should run for mayor.
He really should. He's like Mr. I'm going to start calling him that because that is like a little too on the nose. Because he's so sweet. He's so kind. He's a community-driven guy.
Yeah, he is.
As being a coach and a trainer and like working in sports like that professionally. You know, I think particularly Muay Thai.
Yeah.
But I just want to I know, but I want the audience to know. You're like, yeah. But yeah, I think because he has all of that, he's grown up to, and it's just his personality.
It totally is.
He's a people person.
Yeah. I remember, like, I used to wonder, I'm like, is it real? But like, the more, like, he is just genuinely who he is. Mm-hmm. He asked me the other day, he's like, well, like, we were going, I can say this now because by the time this airs, like, I made like a video for Sandra's bachelorette party where I had Luke answer some questions and then I'll play it for her. But like, we asked each other the questions, and it was what's an annoying habit that I have?
Sure.
And I told him, I was like, it's how truthful you are.
Yeah.
Like, he's so abundantly truthful. Like, you never have to guess, but it's like
how he's feeling.
Yeah. I'm like, it's great, but I'm like, I love this quality about you.
Soften the blow a bit.
I love it so much. But then like, it's also like, sometimes he's just so upfront about everything in his life to everybody. And I'm like, they don't all need to know.
Wait, I love that. Yeah. I love that. He's a great man.
Yeah,
he really is. And in one example that's been so blatant of what a wonderful man and partner he is how much he's taken in your cats, like you said. So your pride and joy, like literally the lights of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he wasn't like against cats or anything. It wasn't like we were worried that he was going to have any kind of weirdness with the cats, but we did also know that he wasn't necessarily like a quote unquote cat person.
No, he wasn't at all. Yeah.
And before Baby and Juice, and even at first when he knew Baby and Juice, because he would only see them when he was at your place. Yeah. And when you guys moved in together, clicked
instantly.
They're inseparable. It's crazy.
It's like he is so obsessed.
Loves them.
I would say obsessed.
Yeah, he's actually obsessed with them. It's crazy. And it's so sweet though, because I see it on his story. I see it on your stories. Like, you will post sometimes. I've loved like when you've posted how excited Juice gets when he comes home.
Oh my gosh, I have to show you a video later.
Please.
I was like in the other room and the Furbo went off that Baby was looking out the window because now it has like is able to and it will say Baby's doing this, Juice is doing this.
Wow.
And so like I opened it up and Neil was laying on the couch like doing his neck exercises and Baby was just like almost like flirting with him in front of the couch, and she was like trying to get him to pet her, and I was like, I recorded it, sent it to him, and I was like, caught you with another woman.
Who is this bitch? In our own home.
Have you seen those Instagram videos where it's like a cat can't steal your man, but can she?
Can she? Yeah. Baby could.
Yeah, I think
Baby
so.
could.
I think she's plotting.
She's very sweet.
Yes.
And seductress. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yes.
But it's so rewarding as your friend to see how sweet he is with the cats and how much he cares, because they're obviously your favorite thing. They really are the light of your life.
Yeah.
And for him to take it just as seriously, which honest to God, I didn't think was possible.
I didn't either. I thought like somebody would come along that would be like, okay, they're cool.
Of course, appreciate them, love them.
Not like love them as much as I love them, and like not care and worry about them as much as I do. Like, he's the first one to be like, we can't leave that long because they can't be alone. Like,
we can't go on vacation ever. And you're like, I went on vacation.
Even when we went to Chicago, he's like, we can't go too many days because we have to get home and make sure they're okay. I'm like, okay.
He loves them so dearly. That's
and we even had a cat sitter, and like still,
but that's not enough for his 2 children.
No.
Yeah, fair. Wonderful. Okay, well, that's a huge sense of joy and
all the time,
you know, and you don't even need material items at that point because you have the 2 best little angels walking
just
around
a bunch
you guys
of
all
fur
the time.
all the time.
Yeah. And like you said, it's one way that you and Neil bond too, is like you both work so much, you know, you both work out a lot.
Yeah.
And for you, your downtime is so sacred. So that downtime is usually spent in conjunction with them.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are cuddled up on the couch watching something.
We always we always will do like movies, and generally like Juice is next to me and Baby's on top of him. Like, it's really sweet.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I guess we can move on to our final question then.
Okay.
The question is there any life lesson or curveball or something like that you've been thrown that you would want to instill in others or want to share with others? Is there anything?
I was thinking about this the other day that I've restarted my career so many different times in my life. And I think a lot of people have a fear of doing that. And when I was younger, I worked like more like, I guess I would say quote unquote normal jobs. And I really wanted to get into the entertainment industry. But it at first it was for acting. And so like I was pursuing acting. And then I was like, okay, now I want to work in the studios. And I just like applied every day. And I got into that. And then I went into that. And then I switched that career and went from business affairs to publicity to marketing. And then when I decided I wanted to produce, I left that. And I was in my early 30s when that happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was going to happen. And everything has been so great every step along the way. And every career path I've taken, I've been successful in. And I think that the point is you're never too old to like start over.
Yeah.
You're never unable to even switch directions. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
So I would just say that would be my advice for anybody that's doing something that they don't love and they want to do something different. Just take the leap.
Yeah.
And if you have to take 2 leaps because you changed that direction, take 2 leaps.
Yeah. It's worth it at the end of the day. Man, Ruth Devereaux, are you trying to give Madison Melissa advice? Or I said the people, Ruth. No, I think that's wonderful. And I think it's true. There's so much of that sentiment that is true, which is, you can change directions at any point, and you have to believe in yourself. That's one thing that I would say maybe you didn't give yourself enough credit on this last answer is you were able to do it because you believed in yourself and you knew what you brought to the table.
I want to say that I didn't always though. Like there was like a definite, and so I guess I want to say that because I think that sometimes people think that you have to have that unwavering like
no self-doubt.
Yes. Like,
no, by no means am I saying that. I am glad that you're stipulating that. Continue. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's stepping out in fear because like there's always going to be fear. We talked about at the beginning of the episode. Like there's unknowns in every step that you're taking. Yeah.
And you never know what's going to happen. Like you could, something like an injury, a family death, a
life
sudden,
a
life change as far as like a career. Like you could try to advocate for a different career, but say your spouse gets a new career and you have to move across country.
Totally.
There's so many things. There's so many variables that are constantly in motion, and you never know what you're going to be dealt. So the self-doubt, there will be potentially some self-doubt, but always taking the leap no matter what, no matter the fear.
It's just taking the steps forward regardless of like what that is. As long as you're every day taking one step, you look back and you've gone a mile.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. And I would say investing in yourself.
Yes.
Too.
Absolutely.
You've deeply invested in yourself, just more than monetarily, but like that time, that time and effort of going like, halt, I don't love what I'm doing right now. I'm going to pivot.
Yeah. And take a risk. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I've been very lucky and blessed. And like, but I think I want to say even outside of career, like I think it's the same in relationships. Like a lot of times we might get comfortable in certain relationships and it's okay to take that step. And I think that I see more often than not, people think like, oh, I'm too old to like make a change now.
Sure.
And I think I don't think that that's true. Like I met Neil when I was 37. Yeah. And he always says, it took me 43 years to find you.
Yeah. Which is so sweet.
Yeah.
And I think that proves the point right there.
Yeah.
You were too fully formed, right? Like what maybe society would say, fully formed adults with your own career paths, with your own places. You lived separately alone. You didn't need to move in together. It was this whole thing. Like you had created a life for yourself. And we had talked about on Fem Tell All, you got to a point probably right directly before Neil, where you kind of were like, listen, you were like, do I want to spend my life with someone? Yes.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm good.
Happy,
I'm really happy. Like genuinely, there's so much solitude.
I was totally down to be a cat lady, man. I was like, there's a peace in like living alone when you do feel at peace with yourself that is hard to replace.
Yeah.
And I was not ready to let anybody interrupt that. But like when you meet somebody that also brings you peace, like you realize you can kind of coexist in that. But
you can create a new piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that really, really resonates. Because, you get fond of living by yourself, or like some people aren't, but
Sure.
I know me and you have been.
Yeah.
And it's taking that next step is so worth it. And I think it just can create such a deeper bond
Absolutely.
for you and your partner.
Yeah.
And, it is a risk as far as you're letting them in, and I think the biggest risk when I think of it, for both of us, of like you at that time and me currently, I think about like the like overwhelming feeling of like, now you rely on someone else too. And I know me and you, independent girlies, are like, I'd rather die. I'm like, rely on who?
Yeah,
No.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm all good, literally. And it's actually such a beautiful thing to have someone that you trust enough to do that with, and to someone that you enjoy and like can build a life and coexist with.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I think that I never wanted roommates when I was single, because I always felt like I'm always on when I'm around people, and I always want to make sure people are okay. And I always like, so I never felt like I could live with somebody and feel at peace. And I will say, like, the one thing I really noticed about Neil, and pretty quickly too, I'll say the one thing I really like noticed is like I don't take naps during the day, and like one of the first times I went to his place, I passed out on top of him in the middle of the day, and I was like, that to me was like, I feel comfortable.
Yeah. They always say that.
Yeah.
Like if you can sleep in front of someone,
Yes.
it's like the ultimate, like it's literally your body telling you that you have
You're
a deep
safe.
trust with them.
Yeah.
And that you feel safe with them. Yeah. That is a huge, huge marker for comfort and stability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and I agree. That's one of my favorite activities is napping with my man. Him and I will be like, nap? Conk out.
Do you fall asleep quickly?
Oh, yeah.
Like how quickly? And like what's like an average nap time for you?
Oh, an average nap time is about 30 minutes.
And do you wake up rested?
Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll push it to an hour. If I have the time and I'm exhausted, I'll do an hour.
And you wake up rested?
And I wake up rested.
See, I feel groggy if I try to sleep during the day.
Really?
Yeah.
My dad had the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and Tommy B.
Yep.
He always was like, I hate naps because I always feel worse after.
Yeah.
I always feel pretty much better after a nap.
They say it's better.
Yeah.
They say like the longevity of life is great with
It's
napping.
good. And to fit in a quick little nap, I love a 20 to 30 minute nap. Yeah, a little snooze. Yeah, it feels great. Rejuvenated. I love that. But I did want to talk about Fem Tell All a little.
Yeah.
Because I know that so many people are probably like, what
happened? Yeah.
What happened to Miss Fem Tell All?
Yeah.
And the short answer is nothing.
Nothing.
She's alive and well. She's not
in
trapped.
slumber. Yeah.
She's literally
She's napping.
She's napping.
Yeah.
She's in hibernation.
Yeah.
And I think to our earlier point about your schedule and those crazy hours, I just felt so horrible having to make you do
I
it.
felt horrible for you. I felt like so much on Madison. And I was like, oh my God, my poor baby.
No, but we love Fem Tell All.
Yeah, we do.
And what I'm trying to get at is like, she's not gone anywhere. No. She's just taking a quick hiatus. We will come back to her when the time is right.
Yes.
Yeah. And the good thing is where My Slice of Life is headed, we're going to have a bigger studio space coming up very soon. Hey. And that might be a good opportunity for Fem Tell All too. So
I really want to do like a roundtable discussion with like some of the women that we really love and like
admire.
And do like a bigger conversation. And now that like the bigger space, like that'd be a perfect place to do it.
Perfect place to do it. So just stay tuned. Yeah. Don't think that we
go anywhere.
Yeah, we love you. Yes. We didn't leave you. I'm sorry. We were like, we'll come back, and then we didn't.
And then we're like
radio silence. But we are here, and if if you were a fan of My Slice of Life,
you're here.
Yeah, exactly. If you were a fan of Fem Tell All and you want to be a fan of My Slice of Life, please join. Come
always.
Back. Come.
How could you not be a fan of this girl?
God. Well, obviously you can see Ruth Devereaux will be making appearances and experiences.
Yes. And I will not ask for lemon bars every time.
You can. You can. We could switch it up. We can do lemon crinkle cookies next time.
Girl.
Okay, that's a plan. Thank you, Ruth, for coming
you for having
on.
me.
I love doing the podcast
I love
with
just
you.
chatting with you.
We could chat for hours.
Ever.
That's why we created a podcast.
Yeah.
I love when
Funny
people,
enough.
Yeah, I love so many people, and I know this is like a sentiment for most people, but they'll be like, "What? How did you decide to make a podcast?" I'm like, as embarrassing as it is to admit, literally, me and my best friend were like, "This is gold.
Yeah.
Let's put it on a mic." I'm like,
People want to hear us talk. Yeah.
and we did prove our point.
We did.
We did.
I was looking back at some of our old episodes the other day, and I was like,
We had some really, really
Yeah.
poignant
Yeah.
conversations. So, yeah, we will be back, honeys.
Yeah.
We love you.
love you guys.
And
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you
This
for
was
coming.
Awesome.
There
Thank you
will
for
be
baking
more
for me.
Of course, there will be more lemon bars whenever you want. And we are planning a wedding next year. So excited.
We should actually film it and then bring like an episode.
I would love
Let's do it.
So
You're
there will
all
be-
invited.
You're invited. You'll
Not
get
physically.
You'll get
Maybe
some
some of
scoop,
me.
some behind the scenes scoop.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm just so excited. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. For
I love
having
you.
me. Love you.
Bye, sweetie pies. Thank you for listening, watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share if you're feeling nasty.
Hey.
Hey. And I hope you enjoy the sweetness of life. Thank you so much.